welcome to Fire Headlines, where we discuss the hottest topics in fire service news. I'm your host, Samantha Didion. If you tuned in last week, we had a question for our listeners regarding the release of information during an active incident. Stay tuned until the end of this episode to hear what some of you guys wrote in. One of the top articles released in the Daily Dispatch this week has us traveling back in time to discuss one of the most devastating fires in American history, the Hartford Circus Tragedy. This month is the 80th anniversary of this incident. It shaped fire safety protocols and serves as a crucial lesson for fire service leaders everywhere. So let's dive into the story of the Hartford Circus Tragedy. On July 6, 1944, in Hartford, Connecticut, a catastrophic fire broke out during a performance of the Ringling Bros and Barnum and Bailey Circus. To set the scene, it was a sunny afternoon and the big top tent was packed with around 7,000 spectators, many of them children. What was meant to be a day of fun and wonder quickly turned into a nightmare. The fire started around 2:40 p.m., shortly after the show began. The cause was later attributed to a small fire from a cigarette or match that ignited the highly flammable canvas of the tent. At that time, the circus tent was waterproof with a mixture of paraffin wax and gasoline. A common practice for the time, but an extremely dangerous combination. The fire spread rapidly, fueled by the gas-soaked roof, and within minutes, the entire tent was engulfed in flames. Panic ensued as people rushed to the exits. Unfortunately, the layout of the tent and the insufficient number of exits led to a deadly stampede. Many were trapped, and the fire claimed the lives of 167 people, with over 700 injured. The Hartford Circus Tragedy was a pivotal moment in the history of fire safety. In the aftermath, several critical changes were made to improve the fire safety standards and regulations, many of which are still in place today. Let's break down some of the key lessons learned and why this event remains relevant to the fire service leaders today. Firstly, the materials used in constructing public venues came under intense scrutiny. The flammability of the circus tent was a significant factor in the rapid spread of the fire. Today, fire retardant materials are required in the construction of tents and other temporary structures. This change alone has undoubtedly saved countless lives. Secondly, the importance of accessible and adequate exits was highlighted. The tragic stampede at the Hartford Circus revealed the dire consequences of insufficient egress routes. Modern fire codes now mandate multiple clearly marked exits to ensure quick and safety evacuation during emergencies. For fire service leaders, it's crucial to conduct regular inspections and ensure compliance with these regulations to prevent a similar tragedy from happening. Another critical aspect is public education on fire safety. The Hartford incident underscored the need for the public to be aware of emergency procedures and evacuation routes. Fire service leaders must prioritize community outreach and education, teaching people how to react calmly and efficiently in the face of danger. Moreover, the Hartford Circus Tragedy brought attention to the importance of emergency response planning and coordination. The chaotic scene during the fire highlighted the need for well-prepared and practiced emergency response teams. Today, fire departments conduct regular drills and have detailed response plans for various types of emergencies. As leaders, it's vital to continually assess and update these plans, ensuring that all team members are trained and ready to respond effectively. The Hartford Circus Tragedy also paved the way for advancements in fire suppression technology. Innovations such as automatic sprinklers, fire alarms, and other fire suppression systems have been developed and implemented to detect and control fires more effectively. Fire service leaders should stay informed about the latest technologies and consider how they can be integrated into their own fire prevention strategies. Finally, the tragedy emphasized the importance of thorough investigations and learning from past incidences. The comprehensive investigation following the Hartford fire provided valuable insights that led to significant improvements in fire safety. As fire service leaders, fostering a culture of continuous learning and improvement is essential. Analyzing past incidences, both within and outside of your jurisdiction, can provide critical lessons and help prevent future disasters. Overall, the Hartford Circus Tragedy, though a sorrowful chapter in history, has left a lasting legacy on fire safety and emergency response. It's a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance, preparation, and continuous improvement in the fire service. For leaders, it serves as a call to action to uphold the highest standards of safety and to never become complacent. I hope this deep dive into the Hartford Circus Tragedy has been both informative and thought-provoking. I hope it also serves as a reminder that the past holds valuable lessons for the future. Like I said at the beginning of this episode, we're now going to switch gears and hear what some of our listeners wrote in regarding the release of information during an active incident. So as Chief Horton and I talked about in our discussion last week, it's typical in the fire service for a press release to go out 2 to 3 times a day during an active incident. And Bob was kind of asking, should we have like stapled times that we send out these press releases, or should we send out the information as soon as we have it? My personal thought was that maybe it's a case-by-case scenario. And a lot of you guys who wrote in felt the same way. But I did find two that kind of play a good argument on both sides, and those are the ones I want to share with you guys today. So first we have the argument for immediate release of information about active fire scenes. And we're going to keep both of these write-ins anonymous. This one says the primary concern in any emergency situation is public safety. Releasing information about an active fire scene immediately can save lives. Residents and businesses in the vicinity need to know about the fire as soon as possible so they can take necessary precautions, such as evacuating the area, securing their properties, etc. This individual also mentions how transparency is crucial, especially in a time of a crisis. And the public has a right to know what is happening in their community. They also have mentions of how fast news can travel, and if you don't get the information out first, someone else might, which follows along in the conversation that Bob and I were having. They also believe it allows for quick, informed decision-making, and it helps control the spread of misinformation. I think that's a really good argument for why you should be releasing information right away. Now let's hear from the other side. The main argument of this write-in is ensuring accuracy. In the chaotic early stages of an emergency, information can be incomplete or even incorrect. By waiting to gather all the necessary details, fire officials can provide accurate and reliable information that our community members can trust. They also believe that incomplete information can lead to unnecessary panic among the public. The credibility of the fire department and other responding agencies is vital. While the need for timely updates is important, ensuring that the information released is accurate and comprehensive is paramount for the safety and trust of the public. So there's an argument for both sides of that question. Feel free to go comment on our social media platforms about which side that you take and what you think about some of those responses. We hope to do a little bit more engaging with our listeners as we continue forward. But as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. A link to the article we discussed can be found in the show notes. If you haven't already, follow us on social media, and if you have a question for the panel, please reach out to us at fireheadlines@wfca.com and let us know what's on your mind. We'll see you back here next week for more Fire Headlines.